Hi Flosstube! Happy New Year! My name is Alison. Welcome to my craft room. I am very excited. This is my very first Flosstube on the very first day of 2023. I'm excited to jump into this world with all of you, and let's get started. Welcome Flosstube and all kinds of other crafters to my craft room. My name is Alison. I've got my cup of coffee here. I hope you've got a tasty beverage to sit back and share a few minutes with me to talk about crafts. Let me introduce myself a little bit here. My name is Alison. I am 48 years old. I live right outside Memphis, Tennessee, and I've lived here my whole life. And I've been crafting my whole life. I have done just about everything and do just about everything. I started cross-stitching when I was very young. I don't even remember who taught me to cross-stitch, but my grandmother and my mom both cross-stitched. And I did that and needlepoint and embroidery and all sorts of stuff up until, pretty much through college. And then somehow I kind of morphed into doing other things. Actually, I think it was more because I started doing a lot of heirloom. I learned to sew. I actually went and took classes. My mother was a great sewist, but she refused to teach me. She didn't think that she could teach me correctly. So I actually went, and when I graduated from college, I went and did a couple of actual real courses to learn how to sew because I wanted nice things for my house. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to afford to pay somebody else to do it, so I'm going to do it myself. And just caught the sewing bug. I've sewn and quilted and done garment sewing, and I did a lot of heirloom sewing when my daughter was young. So all the smocking and all the lace, loved that. And I think that really that's probably why I kind of stopped cross-stitching at that point, because when my daughter was little, I started sewing for her. That was a long time ago. My daughter is now 22, and she is about to graduate from the University of Alabama. And I also have a 15-year-old son. And honestly, one of the only reasons that I can sit here this morning on New Year's Day morning with all of you in a quiet house is because none of them are here. My son is a budding musician. He is a fantastic guitarist. And so therefore we normally live in a pretty loud household, which I love. But at the moment it's very quiet because they are all down in New Orleans. They went to the Sugar Bowl this weekend, and they'll be coming back later today. My daughter and her boyfriend will not. They're headed back to school. They both work at the university, and so they've got to be back there for that. But my son and my husband and my dad, they'll all be back today. But my mother and I got to spend a few days home alone. I mean, she doesn't live with me. She lives about a mile away. But we spent New Year's together, and now that we're here in the new year, I've decided, hey, I'm going to jump into this Flosstube world, and I had more fun than I've had in a long time participating in yesterday's New Year's Eve 12 by 12. So during today's I hope it'll be short. I'm not sure if it'll be short. Hopefully not too long first Flosstube. I'm going to share with you the projects that I worked on yesterday, along with the things that I was able to get done for Christmas and sort of get done for Christmas. I have several they're finished, but they're not fully finished objects. I had a lot of good plans for getting a bunch of ornaments done at Christmas, and that didn't happen. But it didn't happen because it got derailed by a different project and my kids coming home and Christmas, and so the important things in life. So let's get started with that. Give me just a second. I'll get myself situated here. Okay, so let's jump right in. I think the first things that I would like to share with everybody are some Christmas projects that I finished but didn't fully finish. And this is the one I'm most excited but also the most disappointed that I didn't actually finish, because I worked really hard to finish this over the summer thinking, hey, I'm going to have this to display for Christmas this year. It didn't happen. This is the All Through the Night by Stitchin with the Housewives. I must say these wonderful ladies are actually probably the reason that I got back into cross stitch about 2 years ago. Priscilla's artwork is just darling. I love it. And when I came across them on YouTube, it had never occurred to me to not finish cross stitch in like a frame. or a pillow. But the way that she did things, just the creative ways that she would use pieces found at the Hobby, does use pieces at the Hobby Lobby and things. I loved it, and it really just appealed to me. And I thought, man, I need to get back into this. And so I got back into this, and I got back into it in a big way, as so many of you have done too. Like I said, this is all through the night. I started this a year and a half ago. I finished it this summer with all intentions of making it into a very large pillow for my love seat downstairs. It's not a very large pillow. It's just a finished piece. Maybe it'll be a very large pillow. Hopefully it'll be a very large pillow for Christmas next year. Then I had grand ideas that I was going to make a bunch of ornaments because I got super inspired by Chantelle. Chantelle's 141 design. I love her cute things. I ordered the Mystery Make-Along box. I painted several of her cute ornaments. Do they have cross stitch on them? No, they do not. They do not. Is there cross stitch ready to put on them? Yes, there is. There certainly is. Both of these designs are from Tiger Lily Designs. Carrie, she put these out this year. Just absolutely adorable. Love the little snowman. Love his wife. I did do his mustache and his little eyebrows. This is actually a scrubby yarn. I have done needlepoint in the past, so I'm used to using different kind of fibers. And this, just because it's a full coverage piece, it just sort of really had a needlepoint vibe to me, and I wanted to give him a little bit of texture. I do also add beads and different threads to pieces all the time. I'm kind of a magpie. I love this sparkle. But I've got him here. I've got her little fuzzy thing was done in the whisper thread. Are they mounted on the sleds? No, they're just still sitting here. Maybe next year. Also, this is one piece from Christmas Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitchers. My daughter, long time ago, took the kids to see Santa Claus when they were small. I have 13 consecutive years of Santa pictures until this one year when my son, who was very young at the time, was having a bit of a meltdown, and we had to take him out, and he starts screaming, "Don't take my joy away. Don't take my joy away." I had had enough at that time. I guess I took his joy away because we left. But ever since then, joy has really been a huge word in our household, especially to my daughter. So I had put together this piece, which really was supposed to be mounted on this tag, but they're still separate. They're not mounted yet. Maybe they will be next year. They will be next year. Not maybe, they will be. And then here, this is one of the stitch cards, Lori Holt stitch cards. I had wanted to try to do a round finish because that's something that I have not done. I was going to put it on, I am going to put it on this cute little ornament from Chantelle. So maybe the next time you see it, or yes, the next time you see it, these two things will be one thing. They will be one thing. So why didn't that happen? That didn't happen because I got sidetracked. I decided I needed to start something totally different Christmas stitch. Because after I got my Christmas decor put up and all put out, I had this piece, which is the winter typography from Pine Mountain Designs. I have done all 4 of these. There's seasonal ones. There's winter, spring, autumn, and what's that, summer? Yeah, summer was the first one I did. I'm not going to show them all on this Flosstube. I will show them in future Flosstubes. But once I got this put up, it didn't match any of my Christmas decor. I mean, it's beautiful. It's winter time. It's gorgeous. I will definitely put it back up here in a little while once I take the Christmas decor down tomorrow. But it just really stuck out. I said, "Oh no, I have to do the Christmas one. I have to do the jingle typography, and it has to get done. It has to get done now. I will say before I show that this piece, this backer, this whole deal here was inspired once again by the amazing Priscilla Blaine, because this is the piece, the Hobby Lobby piece that she used to finish this spring. Was it spring last year? Spring last year, spring 21. Stitch quarterly piece for Fat Quarter Shop. And I am a member of that club. I do have that. It's still, I haven't started that at all. That's still sitting in the kitted up project bin. But I love this piece, and I love the idea of I had a very specific spot, in my house where this piece sits, and I can just change it out seasonally. So I wanted the wonderful idea of having the magnets in the washers, and you just take it off, put it back on. I love that. That just really appeals to me. That's super fun. But much as I love this winter piece, it didn't go with the Christmas decor, and maybe I will insert a picture of where this was actually sitting in my house for my Christmas decor, and you can kind of see it didn't match, so I had to change it. So I, in the midst of all of my ornament finishing, decided, oh no, I need to start a whole nother piece and do a whole nother piece. And this is the Jingle typography by Pine Mountain Design. Now that I've done the Jingle one, that means I have to finish the Valentine one and the 4th of July one and the Halloween one this year. Because they're just too cute. I absolutely love these designs. Her artwork is just amazing. I have also done, the next thing you'll see is another Pine Mountain Design, part of a series that I've done half of, and I intend to hopefully finish them this year, even though I've been working on them for 2 years, but someday I'll have them all. But here, Jingle Typography by Pine Mountain Designs. I didn't actually fully finish this until Christmas Eve, right before everybody started to come over to my house. So I didn't really have this up all through Christmas, but it was up before our Christmas Eve party, which is something we have for all of our family every Christmas Eve. And so it made it by then. So here you go. Jingle Typography by Pine Mountain Designs. Absolutely love it. Love it. I do have a couple other previous Christmas finishes to show that I was just going to put in here really quick before they go up for the year. I will be putting my Christmas decorations up tomorrow. It might take me a whole week to do it, but I figured while I have the Christmas out, I will show them in this Flosstube, and then I will be excited to see them again when they come back out next year. So there's only 2 of them. Well, 3, but this is also a Stitching with Housewives. I am totally blanking on what this is called. You would think I would know. I know I don't think it's Rudolph and Mr. Claus. It's the other Sip of the Seasons where it's Mr. Claus and Rudolph. I know that's not what it's called. I'm so sorry, Priscilla. I should have looked that up. But I'm also not one of these people who's super organized and like has the names of things on the back of that. No, I don't. But I did this one, Christmas of 2021. I did add some beads to it for a little bit of sparkle. I love me some beads. And then this is actually finished on sticky boards. I don't use the sticky board anymore. I use just regular mat board that comes from the Hobby Lobby, and it comes in much bigger sheets. It's just more economical, and you can cut it down to size. So I use regular mat board with a little bit of basting spray to make it sticky. I do use batting when I finish things out. I like to have a layer of batting under the stitching, especially using the black. I have to put something behind the black. This is just 14 count black Aida, and I really can see through it if I don't put I usually put a layer of black felt behind the pieces that I do that are done on black. I don't want to see any white. Don't want to see any white, and I do like the tiny bit of puffiness and padding that it provides. But this is actually a sign. This is actually a sign from the Hobby Lobby. I saw it again this year. Like, they still had this, and this was done 2 years ago. So I just hung the piece from the side, and this way it can either hang or I can hide this and it can sit on an easel. But in my house, it hangs. So here we go. Got that one. And then also by the amazing Sandra Workman, Pine Mountain Designs. This is the December snapshot. I have done 6 of these. October, November, December. I'm working on January, hoping to finish it. I've done February is fully finished. March is fully finished. I've done April. It's finished, but not fully finished. So is that 6? I think that's 6. So the other ones are kitted up. I have a mirror in my little entryway. I don't really have an entryway per se in my house, but I had where right behind the front door there's a mirror. And these guys, for the most part, are all mounted on little laser cut backers that I have painted. And so I have painted Mr. Santa here with his little. He's holding some cookies. He's holding some cookies. He's painted. He's very happy. Got his little shiny boots. That's done with puffy paint actually. Got his wreaths and. Again, December snapshot by Pine Mountain Designs. I think this is probably my favorite thing I've ever done. I love him. Absolutely love him. Just makes me happy. Makes me smile to look at it. Merry Christmas. Happy Santa. I'm gonna hate to put him back in the drawer. These I actually do keep in a drawer in my guest room. So I see them a little bit more often than some others, but I just love him. He's so fun. Love that Santa. And then my other Christmas piece is another Stitching with the Housewives. This is the, oh, I don't even know if I can back up. This is, oh my goodness, back way up. My goodness. This is the Home is Where the Wreath Is that they introduced earlier this year. This piece hangs in my dining room, and oh, like all of the ones that they do. Ooh, she's crooked. This is finished exactly the way that Priscilla finished hers, and I have absolutely loved stitching these. If you're not familiar with this pattern, it's like a set of 3, and the first one is the H, the O, the M, and the E, and the O is this very basic wreath. So when I started it, I stitched the whole thing with the basic wreath, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna keep up with this. But at least I'll be able to have, have this hanging. I have somehow been able to keep up with this. I do not, y'all, this is, I get so far behind. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about how being a busy mom, because like that's most of us. And sitting down to do this and finishing these, like that's kind of foreign to me, but I've been able to do it. So so this is December. Like I started this back in June, I guess, with this one. And the way they come, like this is one set that's HOME, like the basic set, and then I'll call the expansion packs. There's reswap is 1 or 2. We'll see it here in a minute. There's one that's January through June, and then the second one that was July through December. And since I started this in June, I did July through December. I've done all 6 of them, and I'll show them in future episodes of Flosstube, future Flosstubes. But I did get the December one done, and so I'm going to pop him off because once again, wonderful interchangeable magnets. Greatest cross stitch idea ever. But this is the December one. I did add some beads and some sequins to him, so they've got a little bit, they've got a little sparkle for them. But it's time for them to go back in their drawer. And so for the moment, I will have to replace them with just the basics because I'm not done with January. And that brings me to the adventures of yesterday and New Year's 12 by 12, because I loved this idea. I had a great time doing it. Thank you to Kia B and Pam from Just Keep Stitching for a fabulous idea. Like I said, I was pretty much home alone for New Year's, so other than going out to dinner last night with my mom, like doing this and being able to do this while we watched college football yesterday, I had a blast. And I touched 12 projects yesterday. I did have to start a little bit before noon just to keep up because I knew that we had dinner plans. But I touched 12 projects, and I did the team half and half. I did 6 whips and 6 new starts. 5 of my new starts were tiny new starts on the remaining wreaths for the wreath swap, because it is very important to me to finish these this year. This piece, I love it. And like, people come in the house and like, oh, that's so cute. And it has been, Priscilla said on her Flosstube yesterday that it was her favorite design that they had done this year. And it is mine too. Like, I really do love this. I enjoy looking at it every day. It's something that I see, it hangs in our house and I see it constantly. So, very grateful to Priscilla for coming up with such a cute thing. And I'm just really focusing on trying to finish it. So, and get them all done. They said that they're going to maybe have some more, like celebrations or whatnot. You have some more? I will get them. I will stitch them. I think they're just the cutest things ever. And I did change up the way my letters are done a little bit. I am a graphic designer by trade. That's what I do. So I have a thing about letters, and I wanted them to have a tiny bit more in the pattern. They're very solid. They're solid, which is great. But I wanted them to have a little bit more look to them, and I changed the E just a little bit. So, just a little bit. I don't want to. Everybody has to put their own spin on something, and that and the beads are the only spin that I've put on these, because they're just perfect, and the way she finished it was perfect. And I'm gonna have to do the cities too. Like, they're the next thing. Check them out, like little cities that also go on this board. But yeah, so much fun stuff, y'all. I've, like I said, look back here, I've been crafting for, I'm 48 years old, my whole life. Everything, there's just not enough time for all the fun stuff in the world. If you stick with me, and I can stick with doing this throughout the year, you'll see, hopefully not just cross stitch, but I love to quilt. I've got several quilts in the works. I would like to get back into the heirloom sewing. We're not at this stage in my life yet where I would be in heirloom sewing for my own grandkids, but we do have some other babies that have come into our life or are about to come into our life, and I would like to not just be able to do quilts for them, but to get back to doing some pretty things and day gowns, bonnets, that kind of stuff. And we'll see. So I'm just excited to share everything that we're doing up here in this room. This is my craft room. It is the room above the garage in our house. So I'm kind of limited to the time that I can spend in here, because when it's really cold outside, it's really cold in here. And not that it gets too cold here in Germantown, Tennessee, but much like the rest of the country, it's been insanely cold recently. And although I do have heaters in here and I've got a window air conditioning unit, it never, I can't, temperature regulation, climate control in this room, very challenging. So there's just times when I just can't be up here. And thank goodness that's when cross stitch and crochet and knitting and all the handcrafts that I can do downstairs, thank goodness for them, because I've always got busy hands. If you're watching this, you probably understand you got to have busy hands. And whatever show it is that my husband and I are binging on Netflix, because our son is off practicing his music all the time. And I mean, not off, like he's in the house, but he's doing his thing. And so we come home at night, and I do have a day job. This is just my fun job. Well, not job. This isn't a job. This is just fun. I will say here that I do have an Etsy shop, and you can see right here, I have a long arm machine. I am not a long armor. I only long arm my own quilts. But what I do like to do is, as I mentioned a little while ago, I am a graphic designer, and I like to design my own pantograph patterns. And that long arm is not computerized, so all the pantograph patterns that I design are meant to be, printed out on a home printer. And I design them that way for my own benefit and the benefit of anybody else who might be like me, who wants to do a fun pantograph and not have to, you know, order some big scroll in the mail and be able to print it out and paste it up and tile it. That is what I have in my Etsy shop right now. It is Clever Critter Design on Etsy. Maybe at some point we might have some cross stitch designs too, or maybe we'll have some project bags, because I do make those. Generally just make them for me, but might start making them for y'all too. I do have some ideas for some cross stitch patterns that maybe we'll get to this year. Maybe not, we'll see. But there's a lot of room for new additions to Clever Critter Design. So if and when that happens, I will let you know. But right now, that's what I have. Is I do pantograph designs, which is the, you know, hand guided picture sewing, edge to edge quilting designs for long arm quilting, and they all get tested on that machine back there. So anyway, but that being said, oh, I've lost my train of thought. Hang on just a second. And we're back. I was talking about binge watching Netflix and busy hands. I literally had to go back and just watch that video to even figure out how I got onto talking about the long arm designs and what I was talking about beforehand, because I'm trying to get to this. Y'all, the struggle is real. I even made notes and I still can't keep myself on track. My children are going to watch this, or maybe they won't watch this. I kind of hope they don't. If they do, they're going to be like, Mom, you're so crazy. But I think that's really all of us who do this. And I don't care if they think I'm crazy. That's all right. Anyway, so yes, got to have something to do with your busy hands while we're binge watching Netflix. And, you know, what better way to just do that than continuing to start more things like we all do. So New Year's Eve, 12 by 12. Yesterday, perfect opportunity to start the remaining wreaths, get some more work done on January, and start some other things. So now I'm going to go through what I worked on yesterday. And I'm going to start with the wreath swaps, because that's 6 out of 12. And, I mean, little starts, y'all. Little starts. I was not able to work a full hour on hardly any of these things because, you know, life. And even though it was just me and my mom, we were watching a football game and we did need to eat some stuff. And, you know, I couldn't like full on concentrate completely. I'm also a really slow stitcher. Like, I watched everybody. I kind of kept up with everybody and what they were doing during the day. And people can get so much more done than I can. I'm just very easily distracted, as you might notice just from this introductory video. Be like, this girl can't keep her mind straight. But I get very distracted, and you know, things just take me a long time, and that's okay. I've just said that is okay. That is the way that I stitch. That is okay, and I enjoy it, and that's the point of all of it. So we'll start with this. This is January. He is it's Snowman. I'm not going to show the pattern. Like, I'll show the front of it. You can't really see. You can't see much, but yes, this is Wreath Swap 1 is the one that I am working on, the remaining 6. It's the 6 for the beginning of the year. And you can, oh, that glare. Sorry about the glare. But this is all of them. It's January through June. January is Little Snowman. February is the one that's featured on the pattern. It's flowers for Valentine's Day. March is cute. It's tulips. It's not St. Patrick's Day. It's tulips. April is cute little bunnies. May is the daisies. And June is the strawberries. So with that in mind and what these are supposed to be, you can kind of see the tiny starts that I made. So January, I had actually already started this one earlier this week. So I was considering this a whip, even though it was a very recent whip. So Snowman, tops of his hats. January. February, I was able to get 1 rose done. February. Where's March? March. How many stitches is that? I think this is when I had to make lunch. Barely any started all in March, and looking at it right now, it doesn't look like the tops of tulips. It's going to be tulips. If you're looking at it and seeing other things, don't see them. April, carrots. I think I just dropped a needle. Carrots for April. part of a daisy. Don't think I got much done that hour at all. I think that's when I was trying to get ready to go to dinner. So part of a daisy for May. And June, strawberry leaves. So little bitty starts on these. Little bitty starts yesterday for New Year's Eve 12 by 12, but they're started. And so that means that I'm that much closer to being done with them, because as Mary Poppins says, well begun is half done. And so now they have been started, and that means that I'm that much closer to finishing them, and I will finish them. It's very important to me to finish this piece, and so hopefully throughout the year, as I'm able to make progress on them and as I'm able to finish them, I'll be able to share that with you. So those were 5 whips and a start. So as I said earlier, I was doing team half and half, so I had 6 whips and 6 new starts. So these are not in any order. These are not in the order that I worked on them. They're just in the order that I'm pulling them out of the basket. So this was another one of my whips. I had made a tiny start on this actually on the 4th of July, and then put it back in the bag. This one I have project bags. Cute little fabric. I found this fabric at Joann's earlier this year. Simplicity fabric sewing dish. Love that vintagey thing. Anyway, so yes, this is Good in the World by Pine Mountain. I do love Pine Mountain design. So this is the pattern. Good in the World. It says believe there is good in the world. It also says be the good. I have a very specific place that I want to put this, and this will, I guess other than at Christmas time, be something that is in my house year round. So I had done part of the bee in the top border, and so I got a little bit farther on it yesterday. I don't think that this is going to take super long to finish, but I just need to finish it. So can't finish it if you don't work on it, right? So that was one of my whips. So if you hear some craziness in the background, my dog is in here. Her name is Roxy. She's a 13-year-old Cocker Spaniel. She is sleeping right there behind me. She's 13 years old. She tends to make some weird noises sometimes. So if you hear anything weird, sit up. So whip number 3 that I was working on, that I had made a pitiful start on back during Jolly July. This was, is Sleigh Ride by It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop. Super cute pattern. Was never able to find this frame at the Hobby Lobby. Like honestly, the frame and the way they had it, plus was one of the reasons. I was like, oh, that's super cute. I go to the Hobby Lobby like 3 times a week. It's literally right down the street from my house, which is very dangerous. Where I live, there is a Michael's, a Joann's, and a Hobby Lobby within a mile. Oh, y'all, the struggle is real. I mean, it's not a struggle, but it does make my husband a little upset sometimes, and I don't blame him. But anyway, so I thought that this frame was really cute, but I was never able to find it. So I don't know how I'm going to frame this. I'll do something with it. It might be a pillow, but it's going to be a long time coming, because this is done on, I think this is, what is this? This is 32 count Lugana. This is the called for fabric, the Mint Splash Lugana. It is beautiful. It is soft. It's so fun. I love stitching on it. I'm a slow enough stitcher on 14 count Aida. This stuff is difficult for me. It is difficult for me to see. I have to use readers. I think I need to just up the magnification when I'm doing an even weave. I just stitch really slowly on these even weave fabrics. Hopefully, if I do more of it, I will start to get better. But it just takes me a really long time. So when I pulled this out, I was considering it a whip, but I literally had like 5 rows of the white done. And that was it. So I did get a little bit more done yesterday, but I probably did work on this for the full hour, and that's as far as I got. I think I remember Kimberly saying she had struggled with doing this one as well, because I think that she is very much like me, and is, you know, this happy spot is sort of 14 count Aida. I like a 28 count even weave is fine too. I can see that, but it's just, I love the way it looks, and I do enjoy stitching on it. It's just, it takes so long. And so with that in mind, the next one is also, is this in this one? Nope, not that one. The snapshots are all done on 16 count. which means that if I don't want to do 16 count, and they're all the same size. Like I'm trying to make sure that all the snapshots finish at the same size. So they, you know, they all go in the same place. They're not on interchangeable pieces, but I do want them to essentially, if I looked at them all together, they would be the same size. And so the January one, which was a legitimate whip, like I started this last January and had gotten the borders done, because that's how I do these, is I do the frames first and then fill them in. This is the January snapshot. These are just the PDF printouts, and so the color's probably looking really weird if you're like, oh, I've seen that before and that doesn't look like that. But these are just PDFs printed out on my home printer. But this was January. I think I'm going to finish it on a snowflake. This and the January wreath will be my focus pieces for the next couple of weeks. I had finished all of the frames and had like 2 rows of the white for the snowman put in. This is on a 32 count linen. I think this is Belfast linen. I really liked the way that this looked with the colors. But once again, difficult. It's just difficult for me to work on the linen and on the even weave, but that doesn't mean that I won't do it. It just means it just takes me longer. So I had done all that. So I got some more done on the snowman yesterday. I think I did work on this for the full hour. Like, it just goes really slow for me. But I also was watching football, so I was distracted. But then I'm always distracted. But so hopefully maybe by the next time I see you, both of the Januaries, this one and the wreath, they'll be done. Goals, y'all. Okay, so where does that leave me? Okay, the other whip, really big whip that I've been working on, which I had intended to finish last year, but, you know, intentions. This is Monthly Markings by Heart and Hand. Just show that border pattern, because I am doing this as one piece. You can do this individually or you can do it as one piece. And I'm doing it as one piece and I'm changing all the colors. Really, and I don't even know, like I'm just picking things as I go, as I do the different months. They're all weeks dye works. I just have all my weeks dye works in this bag, and or at least a lot of it. And so this is as far as I've gotten with it. I have to roll it up. I do stitch in hand, but these big pieces like this and the other New Start that I'm going to show you, like I would probably struggle with too much fabric, so I may have to put these in a hoop because it's just getting to be a little bit unmanageable. Not a hoop, but a cube stamp. But I really, that starts to hurt my hand holding on to that. So sort of like pick a poison, like which thing is more annoying, wrangling fabric or hands hurting. So, but this was a definite whip. And last night I worked on this a little bit more, but all I got done was finishing that square border. So I didn't get too much farther on this, but a few more stitches put in. This is also, I think, a focus piece for this year. I have a very specific place in my house I would like for this to hang year round, and I would like to get that done. And I think when I get this done, I will have that one professionally framed, because that is a beautiful piece, and I want to do it justice. So there's that, and then this is the final whip that I worked on. Another Stitching with the Housewives. Where's the pattern? This is Welcome Pumpkin or Bittersweet Farm. I think I'm toying between which thing they were going to call it. I bought the pumpkin backer for this, and it just sat with nothing on it on my hearth all fall, which was fine. Like, it's decorative. It's a piece. So at some point, it will have this piece on it, and I'm actually going to change this text that says Bittersweet Farm. I am going to somehow rechart that to where it says the Coons family on it, so that it'll be a little bit more personalized for us. But I did quite a bit of this when I was working on it back in the fall, but then I put it up for Christmas, so I got it back out. Got a little bit more done on the banner, but so hopefully we'll be able to get this one finished sometime this year as well. So that's 11 things. So my final New Start, which is the biggest single cross stitch piece I have ever attempted, and I have suffer under no illusions that this is going to get finished this year or the year after. I mean, like, I may have grandkids by the time this is finished, but it is so cute. And I was like, I'm going to start this. I'm going to get all this floss and I'm going to put it together and I'm going to start it. So this is all of the floss. It's all just DMC. This is all of the floss for this project. This is the fabric for this project, which is 18 count Aida that I dyed myself just with some red dye. It's pretty big, y'all. Like, and I think it's going to need all of it, because I am stitching this. That's how far I got last night. This is going to be an H. That's the top of the H. Top of the H. So this came out at market this past year, the Sue Hillis North Pole Chamber of Commerce. This pattern is so cute. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, I don't care if I actually never touch that. I just have to have a pattern because it is darling. And so it's a 4-part series. I got all of them. If you haven't seen this, it's precious. I have no idea where I will hang something that's this large, but I tell you what, if and when I finish it, I will find a place for it. I'm going to do this all as one piece. So it starts with the Department of Public Works. They're shoveling snow. That's piece number 1. Piece number 2 is Mrs. Claus's Enterprises, which are the kind of things that I know that we all love. She's got quilt blocks up there. She's working on Santa's suit. She's got some stockings. Look at her adorable vintage sewing machine. I mean, just the cutest sewing, quilting. What does this say? Alterations. All the things. Part 3 is even bigger. It is the Sweet Shop and the Toy Emporium. I mean, just look at it. It's so cute. It's so cute. This is very me. The kind of things that I like to do. The samplers are beautiful. All of you who do the samplers and the reproduction things, they are just stunning. I am very drawn to like whimsical things. So I won't say that I will never do those because, you know, you never say never. They're gorgeous. But this, I like whimsical things. And so that's going to probably be the majority of the kind of stuff that you see on here. But you never know. But this is the bottom. It's the Reindeer Flying Academy. So they're just, yeah. So I had to start it. It was the perfect opportunity to at least get it started. And it may be working in this bag for years to come. Maybe it will be. But someday, if I just plug away at it a little bit at a time, just like everything, there's going to become that day where you put the final stitch in and be like, oh my gosh, it's done. You know what that feeling feels like when you're like, wow, I did it. This is the final stitch. I would love to be able to say I'm going to get a final stitch into most of these things this year. So we'll see. And I'm very excited to, see the final stitches that you are putting in on your things. So anyway, yeah, that's my floss tube. It's where we've gotten. I've got plenty of other, previous finishes to show and whips to show, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'll save that for next time. I've definitely rambled on long enough, and at some point my family's going to come home and going to be loud again. So I'm going to be grateful for the time that I have had here to share with you this morning. And I'm excited to share my crafty exploits with you, and keep seeing and enjoying all of yours in 2023. Wow, it's 2023 already. My goodness. So, all right, friends, enjoy your stitching. I'm going to keep on enjoying mine, and I'm just going to encourage everybody to find the joy in every day. Like I said, that's our word in our household. So find the joy in every day if you can. Take time out each day to have a little gratitude. Determine what you're grateful for. Find the joy in every day, and take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.